Hey guys, in this video I will show you how to play Vyse on split, and we'll start right here when you are defending on A side. So firstly, with your shear, with this setup on A, you can place it on the wall like this. However, as you can see, the wall would not be long enough, even though it doesn't really matter since it's still gonna block off the enemies, but I would still recommend you to at least place it like this. And as you can see, if the enemies would be here and they would try to go into this gap, the wall is gonna end at this spot, so that way you could see anyone who would be their feet in this corner. So that could work as a one way, but I would not really rely on it, since it would be quite awkward spot for enemies to even go into this corner. But still, you should know this information at least. Then you want to combine it with one of your razor vines like this, and together with your flash. I would recommend you to place your flashes anywhere on this spot, either here or all the way here, so that way it would flash nicely anyone who would be coming in. And as you can see, this flash would never blind you if you would be playing from elbow, so that way if the wall goes off, you can activate the razor vine, peek with it, and anyone who would be here would have a hard time. But usually you would want to be in this spot, since you could clear anyone who would even go and hide in this corner. But still, the flash would not blind you, and for anyone who would be in a main, this would work perfectly, since this spot is very nice. And you can have this even for retake, since as you can see with this flash, even though you can't see the flash from these spots, it's never gonna blind you. Another spot where you can be worried about would be this one. Once again, you can be placing your wall a little further back, so that way once again, as you can see, there's gonna be this gap. That way you would be able to see below it and see anyone who would be on the ramp, and for anyone there, they would have no chance of spotting you, since the wall will block off their view. So once again, you can use it with this spot, and you can do your flash anywhere. Doesn't really matter where, you can be doing it even above yourself. And if you would be playing in this corner, you can once again set up a nice trap, so that way if anyone goes in, you can try to surprise them with the flash combination with the razor vines and try to get yourself kill. You don't even have to be playing this close, you can just simply place your flash anywhere in this spot, and you can be playing further back, so that way if there's anyone still, you can blind them very nicely by doing this. Your wall can work very well on mid as well, so that way either at the start of the round you can be placing your wall like this and be ready with it, and once again you can be even doing it from this spot as well, the wall right here, and you can have your flash ready like this, so that way anyone peeking middle, you can flash and try to swing with it, so that way anyone who would be here would get blinded. But make sure you place this flash, you don't place it way too to the left or way too to the right, so that way you would still blind someone who would be on mid. Or of course, since you can place your flashes through the wall, you can always place it through the wall like this, so that way at the beginning of the round you can flash. This will never blind you, since it's gonna be behind the wall, and you will even get a little bit of the flash and try to peek with it. On B, playing with Vyse would do very nicely, since you will be able to do your wall very simply like this. You can even place it in under the angle if you want to, but I don't really think that's the play here, since you wanna block off this area. And then you can combine it with a flash, which you could place pretty high up. You just wanna go to the corner of this spot, and you wanna jump and place it on the side of this building, just like that. Once again, you can be playing at the back right here. If this goes up, once again in combination with your razor vines, you can be doing this, so that way the people who go in, once again you activate it, flash and try to swing with it. And as you can see with these razor vines, it's gonna cover a huge amount of area, so that way for you can be getting kills by doing simply this. Another wall that you could be doing, you can be doing it closer, for example right here, or on the other side, depends how you want to do it, just like that. So that way, if the enemies get really close, you can be once again playing backside, and it's gonna cut off the help once again, so that way this wall would be quite harder for enemies to deal with, since they cannot really trigger this easily, unlike this one. And then you just simply can get a kill on anyone who go through the wall. Once again, you can be using your flash even through the wall right here, so this way you can swing and get a kill here. And there's plenty of other ways how you can position this. But those two spots, I would say, are probably one of the best ones. Or, of course, you can do it even on the spot like this. But with this one, enemies can be hidden more to the right, since it won't even flash them. But as you can see, those two spots will work very nicely if you place it there. You can of course place it lower, for example right here. And another spot where you can set up your trap would be very nicely right here. Just do your razor vines here. You can place your flash on this spot while jumping. And if you will be holding from this corner, once again you can be setting up your wall, for example, in spot like this, so that way it will block them off. And once again you can flash, you are once again hidden from the flash, so that way it doesn't flash you, activate it and peek with it. And for anyone who would be coming here, this flash is in a very nice spot, since as you can see, if they would be coming in, they would have to move, try to hide. Now let's move on to attacking and start with these simple two lineups, which you can do both from this spot and you can do them together. So for the first one, you want to be aiming at this light bulb right here, where you just place your crosshair and throw there your razor vines. And for the other one, you are just aiming in this general area between this tree and this side of the wall, just in the middle, and throw it. And as you can see, they will both land in these spots where if you activate them for the enemies, it would be harder to peek you with. And you can, one nice thing is that you can do them together, just like that. And then as you go in, you can just activate this and this, so that way those two spots would be slowed and would be harder for enemies. And there's one more lineup that I should mention. For this one, you just go simply here, place your crosshair on this spot on the wall, which is gonna be where this line is. Just go up until you hit this gray area, simply throw it, and as you can see, it's gonna land right here perfectly. That way if you activate it, it's gonna cover this area and no one will try to push you through the smoke, which is gonna land right here at screens. Now let's move on to flashes, since it really depends on you how you wanna flash this. First flash, I would, if you wanna gain control of A main, you can place right here, and with this one it's gonna blind anyone who will be watching the A main. However, you won't have enough time to reposition this, since you wanna be flashing onto the side like this through the wall, and you wanna do it as close to this spot as you can, so that way it's gonna flash even anyone who would be close in these spots. But still, if it would not blind your teammates, since as you can see. And it's quite depends on the practice, so the way you place it nicely, since usually you would place it either more to the left or to the right slightly, but it would not really have that big of a difference. Just don't place it so that way it is facing the left side from your view right here. As you can see, you don't want to be doing this, you just always want to be doing it slightly to the right. And as you can see, it's going to be always pretty much on the corner right here. And lastly, with your shear, you want to use this for either to hold the flank for you, or you can use this for placing it on this, so that way if they are pushing, you can win a lot of time. And of course, you can do this with the razor vines as well, which can once again win you a lot of time, so that way the enemies, if this wall goes up, you just activate the razor vines and you can try to swing on them from here, so that way it would be harder for them to do anything. If you have decided to go mid, in both cases, I would recommend you to flash through the wall, since it will never blind you and your teammates, and obviously you can do this from the other side as well, just by simply doing the same thing. And this is gonna blind pretty much anyone who would be trying to hold this, either from this spot or from this spot as well, so it's gonna work very nicely. Now if you make it closer, you can always flash through the walls right here. If you do it on the left and swing alongside this left wall, it's not gonna blind you, as you can see. And it would blind pretty much anyone anywhere in heaven, and even if they would be hiding the spot right here or further back like this. Right here in B, you just wanna be flashing through the wall, so that way you blind anyone who would be right here. And as you can see, the spot would get anyone who would be trying to peek you. Then for the push, you can just do the flash on this wall and go in with your teammates. You can combine it with razor vines, which you could throw in through the backside, so that way no one picks you from there. And then if you've made it to the side once again, you just wanna be playing for time, you can place your one deeper or right here. I would recommend to do it deeper, so that way you would have more time to react to it and activate this. And of course you can do your razor vines either under heaven or even into heaven as well. so that way they would land like this and win you some time, and it would be much harder for enemies to peek from either side. And lastly, with your ultimate, as you can see, there's this big radius. I would recommend you to use it from this spot, so that way you cover this whole area. You want to cover this all the way to the stairs. If you go further, it's gonna cover a little more. However, this whole area is not gonna be hit, so you should have that in mind and use your other utility in this corner. However, I think it was gonna work very great on A as well, since as you can see, it's gonna have this radius and it's gonna get the whole side pretty much. So it doesn't really matter from where you go. In both these cases, your ultimate is gonna be very effective, and even for retake, since as you can see right here from heaven, it's gonna work very nicely, and it can cover pretty much the whole side unless there's someone in these two corners. But I think it would hit even the player there, but this one not. But that's not really an issue, since you can flood in quite quickly. And for the B, you can use it from the heaven. If you want to use it from the heaven, just do it on this side, since it's gonna cover a little more area. Or you can use it from spawn. However, as you're gonna see, it's not gonna hit a little much in the garage, but it's gonna cover this whole side on the other hand. So I would recommend to use this corner pretty much all the time, since you can smoke this off in most cases. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And see you guys soon. Bye.